This week, Valiant's running out another title, Imperium, following the exploits of Toyo Harada as he assembles a supervillain team to achieve his goal of world dominance. So this week, we're going to take a look at how a little boy from Japan became the most powerful adversary in the Valiant universe. Now, if you're looking for the elevator pitch about Toyo Harada, you take Steve Jobs, mix in some Magneto, a little bit of Lex Luthor, and a healthy dash of Akira, and you have Toyo Harada. Okay, so a little backstory. In the Valiant universe, normal people that have genetically developed superpowers, like Toyo Harada and Harbinger kids, are called Psiots. In nearly all people with this gift, these powers lie dormant in their genes. And these people are known as potential Psiots. When these potentials go through enough stress or trauma, when it doesn't kill them at least, their brain chemistry alters, activating their dormant powers. And that's exactly what happened on August 6, 1945, when an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, activating the latent abilities of a young Toyo Harada, granting him incredible telekinetic and telepathic powers. Quickly, young Toyo sees the darkness in man through their acts of war and greed, and learns that he himself has the power to impose his will and change things. He gets contacted psychically by an old Psiot named the Bleeding Monk. Now, he's someone we'll look into in another video, but all you really need to know is that he's always bleeding and he's able to peer into the future. So it takes him 6 years, but Harada eventually finds the monk in person, taking him into his council. The next time we see Harada, it's 1969, and he has become a successful businessman and the head of Harada Industries, a company Harada secretly uses to develop a scientific method of activating potential Psiots. During this time, Toyo has his first dealings with Project Rising Spirit, a security and military contractor that has become aware of Harada's superhuman research. They're eager to get in on the business as well, regardless of any moral implications. Corporate espionage leads to all-out war between the two sides. Harada survives the battle, but is left lost and wandering with amnesia, as Rising Spirit steals his research and his company is dissolved. Sometime later, he is discovered by his followers and is cured of his amnesia. A newly revived Harada doubles down on his goals, vowing to one day destroy Rising Spirit. Which brings us to the modern day. Harada Conglomerates is one of the biggest multinational companies in the world. To the public, it's run by the son of Toyo Harada, who in reality is the elder Toyo himself, now projecting himself as a young man to the world. The Bleeding Monk tells Harada of a young Psiot who has naturally become activated at puberty, only the third known person to become a Psiot without needing activation. The Psiot's name is Peter Stanchek. The monk refers to him as the Great Destroyer, but Harada thinks he can be trained under his tutelage. Of particular interest to Harada is Pete's unique power to activate the Psiot ability and potentials. Harada reaches out to the troubled teen and tries to recruit Pete to join the Harbinger Foundation of Psiots. Pete is hesitant, not wanting to leave behind his mentally troubled best friend Joe. Toyo tries to manipulate the situation by having Joe killed, made to look like a drug overdose. Pete figures out the ruse and rages against Harada, barely escaping with his life in the process. Harada becomes obsessed with recapturing Pete, who goes off and activates his own team of Psiots, known as the Renegades. The cat and mouse chase continues through much of the 25-issue run of Harbinger. The chase builds to a head when the Renegades pull a heist to hack Harada's personal files, exposing his secrets to the world. With all his secrets in the open and everyone learning of his power, Toyo Harada becomes a wanted man to governments around the world. Instead of surrendering, Harada turns the situation into a power play, declaring to the global population his intentions to bring peace to the world under his rule. The world is quick to realize they lack the power to stop Harada, and Pete Stanchek is nowhere to be found, having exiled himself from humanity, leaving Harada to take possession of the continent of Africa, where he begins planning for the future. That'll do it for this week on the Valiant Review. As always, you can subscribe below, and of course give us a follow at Twitter at @ValiantReview.